Man, you just need a Starbucks.
Hey guys! This is the Honesty Issue and I'm Katie.
I'm Sky.
And today
We're talking about PTSD.
So what is PTSD? What is it and what does it look like?
Post-traumatic stress disorder.
When someone goes through something very traumatic like abuse, a lot of veterans struggle with it when they come back from war. Anything that could be traumatic.
Yeah, rape, which is really scary. A near-death experience. Yeah.
So any of those traumatic events will usually cause people to have post-traumatic stress disorder.
It's a really serious and haunting sickness where, you know, you can get anxiety sometimes, or maybe your depression's acting up. PTSD is with you all the time. What it looks like is hard to describe because you hear PTSD and you're thinking about news articles saying don't put on fireworks in your neighborhood if you know someone is a veteran. But that's not always as simple as it is, but as
direct.
Yeah. Yes.
The triggers for it can be anything.
Which is really scary, and it makes it hard. But
it can be a certain sound or a certain smell.
A song, the way somebody touches you, a word, or the tone of someone's voice. All of those can be triggers, and that makes it extremely difficult for someone with PTSD to, you know, socialize and even be comfortable. Be comfortable in their own skin, just because they're always on guard and cautious of, you know, being triggered like that and controlling themselves.
It's definitely hard when you are triggered to control how your body reacts to that trigger, whether it's crying or having an anxiety attack. There are many different reactions that you can have to triggers.
Just be cautious of what you say and what you do, because you don't know how it's going to affect people. Mental illness is so hard because it's not something you can visually see. But if you see someone kind of having a hard time, or, you know, shaking, and you know that they've been through something stressful, just, you know, just like every other thing, just be there for them. I know that PTSD can involve flashbacks, nightmares, just panic attacks out of the blue, shaking, all of those things, and more. It just depends on what you've been through.
And if you have a friend or family member or significant other that has PTSD, supporting them can be very difficult and hard, because that person that struggles with PTSD doesn't know what helps, because nothing really does. One thing that can help one day will not work the next day. So it can be very frustrating.
It depends on how bad the flashback is, or the trigger as well.
It's kind of, for example, if something triggers me and I have a flashback, it's just like I'm reliving the traumatic event all over again. And so I feel dirty again, and I feel worthless, and all of those things that I felt when it originally happened, I'm just feeling them all over again like it's brand new.
There are some triggers, like just to show how simple it is to be triggered.
I work at an elementary school, and there's a custodian at my school that looks just like the man who assaulted me. I see that custodian every day, and he doesn't look exactly like him, but he dresses a lot like him. It's just as simple as someone wearing a wife beater.
Or someone raising their voice. For me, you get yelled at sometimes in life. Sometimes you do something wrong, people yell at you. But I can't handle that. I
will break down.
I break down, I feel like they're gonna hit me, and I get scared. And oh, I forgot another effect of PTSD can be repression.
Oh yeah.
For example, I don't remember most of my life.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
I don't remember a lot of my childhood either.
It's gone. And
but things can come back.
Yeah. I know a lot of people for this do hypnosis, which I've never tried.
Or EMDR therapy.
I don't know if for you, but what I can remember is just pictures. It kind of works like a movie, just like any other memory. But there's a feeling attached to it that if I don't stop thinking about this, something bad's gonna happen. I'm gonna break down, or, you know, people are gonna see me. And it's really hard because, especially when I'm with friends or, you know, with my fiance, I could have a flashback and they don't know what's happening, because I can just be staring into the distance and seeing that, and they don't see it, so they don't experience it the same way I do.
I don't know how your flashback works, but mine is like, I'll just pick a place to stare at, and I'll just stare there for however long my flashback is.
Same here.
And it can happen anywhere, and it can last as long as a few seconds to a few minutes.
And nightmares work the same way.
A lot of times you have, at least I have more than one nightmare in a night, or sometimes I have 0.
Oh man, even talking about it, I'm shaking.
I know, I am too.
Oh man. Hang on, let's just
breathe.
Yeah.
Ready?
How are you feeling?
I feel better now.
Okay, good. I do too.
I'm getting all mad. It's okay.
Yeah, let's do that. Good. As you can see, even just mentioning it can work up some emotions. Just like talking about something you're afraid of. Like if I mention spiders, I know it's gonna freak people out and they'll get nervous. Just like talking about this, it's really hard. But that's why it's important to do, so that you can connect with people and get it off of your chest, because we'll probably feel better after this.
I think another big thing about PTSD is finding a good support system and finding someone, and finding someone that understands, because you can have people that support you, like family and friends who have never gone through it, and they can be a great support, but there's no support like someone who's gone through it and who knows what it's like to have nightmares and flashbacks.
Going back to talking about it, it is so important that we acknowledge what we've been through and that it was traumatic, but we're still here, and that's the important thing.
And that's what matters.
Yeah, that is, so you are still here and you are as strong as ever. We need to beat the stigma if we're gonna, you know, end traumatic experiences like this and show what it can do to people, and that's what we're looking to do.
Yeah. Surviving the traumatic event was the hardest part, and now it's just time to move on.
It's just, this is the recovery process.
Yeah,
and
which isn't easy, but it's better than what you've already been through.
You don't have to relive that same day or year or however long or short that experience was. You don't have to keep reliving it. There are ways to get through this, and when talking about treatment for PTSD, it's kind of different from any other illness where, you know, PTSD isn't as recognized.
Yeah.
And that's really tough, especially for people that have just come back from war. I think the statistics are higher, don't quote me on this, but statistics are higher that veterans die by suicide from PTSD and untreated mental illness than out at war. That's, how can we let that happen?
And also, the third leading cause of death in teens and young adults is suicide. The third leading cause. Suicide, I believe, is 100% preventable if you have the right tools. And I actually, Skylar taught me something 2 nights ago called grounding. I had heard my therapist, you know, use that term before, but we never really put it into practice.
We want to go into coping skills and, you know, throughout this, but for, I think PTSD, grounding is so important, because during flashbacks you're in that moment again, you're reliving it. And grounding is kind of, you know, there's a pumpkin in front of me, Caitlin's sitting right next to me, I can feel my breath. It's noticing things that are here and saying that you are here instead of, you know,
wherever your mind is.
If you have any questions or comments for us, feel free to leave them below, or on, you know, our Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, email. Send us a pigeon, and we'll see you next time.
Yep. 1, 2, 3. Welcome back to the Honesty Issue. We're fine.
Try? Yeah. Huffing some candles. PTSD and candle puffing. There it is. That's really bad.
Candle huffing?